It's called Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Facing the lion is always positive. And so I ask you today, as we are going to be facing our lions or challenges of the week, what did you face this week that was challenging to you?
Now, when we think about our feelings, how do you think that helps us? For one, we're giving the body and the mind a break. I call it reflection. Some people call it 5 minutes of silence or 15 minutes of silence. But it helps you to gather your thoughts.
It's called Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Let's think about all the silent people. And let's see if any of you fit this criteria. You know, those are the ones that are in a domestic, violent relationship. They can't really tell you that they're being knocked around. They're being abused sexually. They're being physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally. They feel like they don't have freedom.
Thinking in my thoughts, I'm free. Just thinking in my thoughts. Time is so precious as I think about it. Thinking in my thoughts as I think about that. Think about that. Think about this. Think about it as I'm thinking in my thoughts. Thinking in my thoughts. Thinking in my thoughts. Thinking in my thoughts.
It's called Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Today we're going to think about our thoughts. And we're going to think about our childhood. We've all had one. And so let's revisit, embrace, and show kindness to ourselves as that child. And so here's the prompt that helps us in our healing process. Thinking of yourself as a child, we're going to think about your childhood. What empowering words would your adult self share with your child or about your childhood? I wanted to discuss with you all some thinking questions that I know you all are greatly anticipating. And I want to ask you, how do you say no? How do you prioritize your needs? How do you set boundaries? How do you disagree with people? How are you an honest person, or are you? How do you challenge poor behavior of yourself and others? walk away from toxic environment, including people, places, and things? How do you acknowledge your mistakes? How do you stand up for yourself? And last but never least, how do you protect your time and space?
Hey, thank you for the invite. I think this is a fantastic swell, and on hearing the question, it immediately brought on lots of perspectives that apply to my life, and particularly, like you said, witnessing and remembering what it was that my childhood consisted of. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm only speaking from my perspective, but I feel like more often than not, this question doesn't promote the natural deviation of the positive moments, right? I feel like through this process, you're going to be exposing the things that you want to offer yourself a sense of encouragement regarding. At least that was my experience. It wasn't like, oh, you did so good and all this other stuff. It was immediately like, the reason those kids are so mean to you is because they just don't understand your perspective, and that's okay. Everybody has a different perspective, and that doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means they're a little confused, and it's best that you don't take it personally. It's best that you don't let them convince you that you are a certain way, which of course indicates bullying that I've experienced, and many of us have experienced throughout our life, but I experienced it quite a bit in my childhood. So there's lots of things like that come up. I think that's probably the biggest one that comes up immediately, initially, without much digging or diving. I'm sure if I sat in a relaxed state where I'm not actively driving like I am right now, and instead allowed myself just to feel and breathe, I think I would probably get to experience a slightly different truth or slightly different answer in that process. This is a powerful question. I'm going to re-swell it, so hopefully it reaches a couple more people, and through that we can at least give people the consideration, even if they don't wish to answer it on their own publicly here, which is completely fine. It's still great to contemplate it and then maybe journal instead. So thank you for your time, and thank you for posing this question. I really appreciate that incentive or that initiative. Have a great day.
Everyone, today we're going to be answering our questions on Think About Thursday. Here are the questions on the screen. First question is, how do you say no? I say no by saying no thank you and no ma'am. No ma'am. That's how I say no. And the people that know me, they know when I say no like that, that means I'm not doing that. There's no need to question or second guess that answer. It is completely no. How do I prioritize my needs? That's the second question. And how I do that is I wake up early in the morning. The things that I need to do, I get up early so I can get them all done. So in the afternoon, if somebody needs me to do something, like if somebody asks me to make some music with them, or they want to talk to me, I'll be free because I got what I needed to do done first. Third question, how do I set boundaries? By saying no. Yeah, that's how I set boundaries. And another way to set boundaries for me is by telling someone how I feel, and that's like my fence right there. That's my shield. It's like, I don't feel comfortable, and if they don't respect that, then I will address that.
It's called Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. I'ma do my own thing. It's okay if you don't want change. I prefer the chasing of dreams and the purpose of my life. Baby, I'ma do my
thing. It's hard for me because I'm not focused on me. So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help myself? It's hard for me because I'm not focused on me. So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help myself?
I should not want if you that I have. When it ain't easy, you do the math. When it ain't easy, you do the math. Lord, you come for me. In the eye of the storm, you are the shield that I need. You are the shield that I need.
Woo! Y'all see this? Snow. Drake? Hello? Hello? Oh!
It's called Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Working on you. It's probably hard right now. You're wondering, if I start now, how long would it take for me to get to the person that I know that I am and that I know that I can be? How long will it take? Trust and believe me, I've asked the same questions.
From there, you were able to look at it and you were able to identify what's going on inside of you. We must do our own work.
It takes a lot of motivation, determination to be the person that you want to be.
When you come into Vibe Talk, I'm not some guru that's going to figure out what is wrong with you. You learn the technique of finding out why you hurt. And I'm so glad to announce, after all of our hard work, Trish and I are so happy to present to you the Healing Center, a place where you feel safe, a place where your family can come, a place where you can get into groups and learn to work on you yourself and you. Happy anniversary to Vibe Talk. 5 years and still connecting. Doors are always open and they always have been open.
Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
It's hard for me because I'm not focused on me. So what do you need to change about that? You need to focus on yourself. How do we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help myself? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change.
Connecting with our moods and minds, understanding that all growth will take some time. So we give you motivation for transformation to that wellness you're probably thinking about. Facing them challenges, you doing fabulous. We talk about emotions,